welcome, welcome. This is the second version of the Neurosity stream, or my second time doing it. Yesterday, I focused on productivity and trying to count the number of distractions I had. But today, I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to focus on a different part of our technological stack, something that we call kinesis. Kinesis is something that uses motor imagery or imagined thoughts or muscle movements. And what that means at a brief, high level, I'm going to try and control whether it be my computer or a HTML5 video game, like a button tap, like a mental mind tap, just using my mind, not using my hands, my mouse, or anything like that. This will all be done using the Neurosity Notion. And the Notion is a very lightweight, easy to use brain computer that runs an operating system just like your phone, right? It's got everything your phone has, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, quad core processors, except it has brain imaging as one of its core inputs. It just goes on sort of very easily like that. And there's like a whole signal quality checking part to it. And I can kind of go over that, but I'm excited to talk about one thing in particular is the training for the kinesis. We just released a new update for our kinesis training that allows a much better experience. And let me go over to my computer, I'll swap scenes and show you what we're doing. I'll make this a little bit smaller. I think yesterday the video is a little big. Okay, so this is the dashboard, and my device is off, so I will go ahead and turn it on. It takes about 2.5 minutes to boot up, and what we just released is a new version. Let me see. Let me make sure it was merged. So we're using Netlify internally to run our builds. So let me just go over to here. GitHub Neurosity, Developer Console. And I think this pull request was closed. Okay, so if I go to console.neurosity.co, that's how you get to this portal that actually looks into each Neurosity device. If I go back to 100%, let me see, how's that look? Go a little bigger. Okay, so you can see here it says starting OS. That's because the device has connected to Wi-Fi and it's loading the Linux-based operating system on it. I don't think yesterday I showed what the raw brainwave activity actually looks like, so I'll make sure to go ahead and do that today because it's pretty cool. It's one of my favorite parts about this is like how easy it is to get raw brain activity. So I think on my big agenda today, if I write it down so I stay on track, is going to be do a kinesis training, show you what that looks like. I'm going to download this Electron app that I used to get started. I worked on it a couple months ago, so I'm assuming there'll be some updating to dependencies, stuff like that. And then I remember it was using this robots.js, so I can use that to try and control my mouse or my screen. I can try and scroll down, different things like that, because I'll be tying one of my mental commands to a specific computer movement. And then so get Electron app running is probably the first thing. Making a list so I don't get distracted. Yeah, and then we'll try and control my computer. So pretty simple. I may have to redo a kinesis, and at the same time, maybe I'll go ahead and I'll monitor my calm and focus, and we can see maybe at the end I'll check in on one of the features I was working on yesterday. So here you can see it's online, Notion F32, that's this device, batteries at 98%. And I can go down here and I can check out signal quality. Let me move it around a little. It has these little prongs that are able to comb through your hair. So let's see. let's take a look at the raw data to show you what that actually looks like. It's pretty cool. So I hit start over here. This is what the raw electrical activity on my head looks like. So let's see. Doesn't look so bad. Those spikes in the data can generally be removed with good connection to the bias electrode, which is this electrode. It's essentially a noise canceling electrode. Let's see how this data looks now. Ooh. All right, let's try this. All right, here we go. All right, now let's check it out. Give it a little bit to kind of calm down. Let's go check over here. All right, so signal quality is definitely coming up. It actually takes a little bit of time between the electrical contact on your head and your scalp. It gets better after a couple of seconds. It like settles. You can imagine there's like a settling time, so it takes a little bit of time. And yeah, so Alex and the team have been working really hard to improve this training process. I did one earlier for left arm, and I'm gonna do one for maybe my left arm again, or yeah, I could do like a left hand pinch. So I go over here and I hit add a training, okay? And you can think of the device as like dumb right now. It doesn't know anything. It doesn't have any training saved, anything like that. So I'm gonna select a thought to train, and it's gonna use machine learning in real time to then learn what the electrical activity in my head looks like for that specific thought. You can see that there's tons of different thoughts that you can train here. Right arm, right foot, some imagined things like rotate clockwise, rotate right, tongue. These are all different things that research has shown that leads to high accuracy. So let's just pick one. I'm lefty, so I normally pick left arm. I'll pick left arm. And so the idea here is like you're imagining like moving your left arm, but you're not actually making the arm move. It's everything up until the arm moves. So you're like imagining like, okay, I'm gonna lift my arm, and that's sort of what that looks like. So I only talk normally during the rest periods. So there will be a little bit of quiet as I'm actually training this. And you'll see how it's helpful to remain quiet. You don't want to really talk during the actual active part, because that will flood the signal with electrical activity coming from your mouth and your jaw and your throat to actually produce that noise. Okay. So rest first. You can see trial 1 of 30. And so I'm imagining moving my left arm. And I'll do this maybe 10 times. Rest. It's just like, learning your thumbprint. Soon you'll see real-time feedback. Bigger that gets, the more accurate the system thinks I am. So that number is 0 to 1 of how much is like, the higher the number, the more likely it is I'm thinking that thought. Just like that. And the more I do, the smarter the system gets, which is great. Rest, keep going. Alex and team have done an amazing job on this. This is so much better and less laggy than before. This is awesome. Okay, so we've done a little bit of training, and now, like, okay, let's see how this is working. We go over to try kinesis, and my friend Austin got it so that it auto-fills. He passes a URL parameter, kinesis equals left arm, which auto-fills these. Now, okay, so right now, at this point in time, if we take a step, the training that was just created when I did that classifier, when I just did that training, created one classifier. This classifier now lives in the cloud, and this classifier is unique to you. And now when I hit start, it will pull that classifier and load it into the analytics engine that's running on my head, and will allow me to predict in real time the probability. So here, if I hit start, it's 0, and if I try and imagine raising my left arm, you'll see this probability shoot up. And then I stop, and it'll fall back down. And so that's the gist of kinesis, right? You stop, you go, boom, right, 90%, fire the command, and then it drops back down. It's really simple. I mean, obviously it's not that simple, but it's something that we can then use to drive it. I can hit stop, but if I want to fire it, I can go, I can imagine the left arm. And then kill it. And you actually get good at it. You get better at it. It's kind of like the Star Wars, like the Force is always within you, but you just got to learn how to like get it out. And I think everyone's head is like a little bit different just because of biology. So sometimes like left arm I know works really well for me, but there are other people who maybe right arm works better for them. And that actually has to do with the folds on your neurocortex. And EEG only is able to pick up on neurons that are perpendicular to the surface. So I think perpendicular or parallel. Yeah, it's perpendicular. So the neuron's like this, and it's able to pick up on the activity. So you can see it's still running here. If I take a second, and there you go. So voila, that's your thing. Okay, so now we hit stop. That's really great. I think also during the course of this, if you have any questions, please enter in the live chat. I'm happy to answer any questions. As well as I'm going to probably be tracking my productivity while I code. I have ADD, a little bit of ADD, so one thing that helps me is some of the tools that we're building at Neurosity that track my focus and calm levels over time. And we found that when you're in the flow, you have high calm, And when you're really working hard and like doing math, you have high focus. So it's fun to track those over time, and I've been working on some other features that allow us to make more sense of that data. So anyway, so let me go open this Electron application and let's get coding. Let's use this kinesis. So if I go over here and I get the link for it, let me see here. Demo, I think is what it's called. Okay. And we may end up scrapping this project and starting over with Electron React boilerplate or Electron quick start. But I want to at least give it a shot to see if we can get this working. So I'll make this a little bit bigger, and I'll plus. And I'll do, where am I? PWD, I'm an AJ Keller. So I'll CD over to Neurosity, and I'll do git clone. It already exists and it's not empty, so I'll go over there. So app, demo, Notion AJ, I'll do git status. Let's see, is there anything in the working tree? Nope. So git fetch, make sure that I'm up to date with master. I am. And let's open this in Visual Studio Code. Okay. At the same time, we gotta have a little bit of fun. Let's track my productivity with the developer assistant that we make at Neurosity that plugs into my code editor. So I'm gonna close this actually, close that, and I'm gonna go open recent, and I have a new version. And if I hit run, I'll be right over there. So I have a new version of the VS Code extension that I'm testing. So might as well, test this at the same time. Okay, so it opens up a new window over here, and I hit Notion login, sign in with email. Code was sent to aj@neurosity.co. Enter to confirm. So if I go over here, I need to change the preferences real quick. Code, preferences, settings. So I'm going to change the email. It's AJ, for this example, AJ+2 is the email that I'm going to be working with for this. And you can see this, this VS Code extension that plugs into my brainwaves can dim the screen when I start getting distracted. It can show a notification when I start getting distracted. I'll probably turn that off for now. And it can automatically enable and disable do not disturb mode, so I don't get notifications coming in while I'm programming. But at the very least, I want to use it to highlight my productivity over this past couple hours. So I'll hit Notion login, sign in with email. It's going to send me an email to that address. I then go over to mail, and I'm not going to show my email because that doesn't seem like a good idea to do on a live stream. But essentially, when it sends me a link in my email, and then it gives me this link, this code that I take over to here, and I copy and paste in and hit enter, and now you see Notion's initializing, please wait. And it says my flow stage 205, slow pace, get focused. So let's have a little fun with that. And we'll just have that running throughout the duration, and we'll check in on that later. So now I want to open up this app, and I will look at, let's see. I haven't looked at this code in a little while. Let me make sure this is big enough for you guys to see. Go over here to my stream. All right, it's looking like you can probably read that. If you can't read that, let me know in the comment section, and I will try and fix that for you. So, and there's some of my focus data you'll see coming in real time, which is dope. It's like my favorite thing. And that's coming from the headset just because I'm running this IDE plugin that we make. Okay, so what is Electron at a high level? Electron allows us to run JavaScript inside a native application. Okay, so when you write JavaScript most of the time, that runs on your web browser in a web application. But there's this thing called Node, and Node allows you to run JavaScript on a computer, and then like on Mac, Windows, Linux, it allows you to write JavaScript and run that natively on the computer. And Electron is a natural progression, and I'm pretty sure VS Code is an Electron application that's written in JavaScript, and it has web views, and it's a really beautiful ecosystem. But the cool thing, and the reason why I'm using Electron in this current application, is because I want to release this application to our developers who are developing with Notion, and I want them to be able to control their computers, and I want to be able to control my computer just by thinking, just by using that kinesis. And so if we sort of look through here, I could take a look, and I have a good bit of Electron experience. I did a ton of it when I was working with a company called OpenBCI, but now we use this not as much because a lot of the code Neurosity writes is all based in the web browser. But the Notion.js API that we use is able to be used anywhere. Okay, so let's take a quick peek over here, and let's just look at what I have done before. And like I said, there's literally no guarantee of this working. So let's just take a step back and kind of understand what's happening. So we have const mind equals new Notion. This looks like I made this application before we implemented authentication. So I need to think about for a second how I want to live stream making a login. Because I don't want to show you, I guess it's okay if I show you that password, but I don't want to show you too many of my passwords. So let me think for a second here. I'm going to go pull up our docs and take a quick peek. Docs.neurosity. Enter. Let's see here. Authentication. Take data privacy very seriously. Oh yeah. And then I need to await this. Let me see here. How do I want to do this? So the issue is we need to pass in a password, or I can try and get an ID token. But let me check this out. So we do it over here in Node. We do it through environment variables, which is like, I would be okay with doing that in a live stream. But the issue over here is that it's harder to get env variables in an Electron app. Okay. Let me think here. I may just have to show you the password for a second. Well, I can always move that. Okay, I think I have an idea. I may just end up doing something like new file. This is not a good way to do this. Secrets. But I just want to honestly see if this is going to work. Because why not? Let's just give it a quick test. And also I'm going to need to update my package.json. I haven't ran Electron on this computer, so let's just export Let's see, how do I export? My creds. My creds, and I want to export an object. Username, and this is aj+2 at neurosity.co, and then we'll put in a fake password here. This could work. Let's see if this works. Fake password. Let's get rejected from our server first, and then we'll, if I can get rejected from the server, I'll then update this password off screen, and we'll be okay. So I should be able to say const, what did I call it? My creds from require, and this is /secrets. It could work. And let's just do, I think I did left arm. But let's do console.log my creds. Okay, and let's just comment this out for a second. And I'll pull up my handy dandy terminal, and I'll, oh, that's pretty big. I'll do npm let's update our npm. Okay, let me go see what it's called. Up over here, npm.js. It's just called Notion. So all I need is at Notion latest. You can see here, it's probably going to get attacked real quick. It's going to update that. Let this load. Go check and see if there's any questions. Looking good for now. All right, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment box below. Just as a quick, if you're just joining us, I'm currently using Neurosity Notion, which is a brain reading headset. You can learn more about it at neurosity.co. I'll show you. It's right here. It sits on the back of my head. It has 8 sensors that are picking up on the electrical activity in my skull. So you can see right here, or that is going on inside my head. I was just showing how kinesis works a couple minutes ago back in the stream, and now we're going to try and use this kinesis, telekinesis, to actually control something on my computer using an Electron app. So let's go back over here, Visual Studio Code. Uh-oh. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to coding on the laptop, and this is one of my favorite issues to run into with native libraries. So we're trying to install robot.js, and we had a fail on Node GYP. it's probably because it says there's no Xcode or command line tools version detected, but I'm pretty sure I have that. So let me go over here and say how to install. I think it's just like Xcode. What is it? How to install command line tools on Mac. Yeah, you just hit this, and I'm pretty sure I have this. So I'm pretty sure that this error right here, yeah, is already installed. Use software update to install. Let me go check the software updates, because I did see that there was one, but I really don't think this is it. See, software updates. Where is that? Oh wait, that's not there. It's about this Mac. It's up to date. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is because it's trying to use Python 3 and no GUIP doesn't work for Python 3. It only works for Python 2. Python 2 has gone extinct, so it's pretty crazy that it still doesn't. But anyway, let's see if we can switch Python versions. And I know how to do this because I've done it before. Say it's like, let me go check something. So I know I have a couple different Python versions over here. Oh, shoot. Select interpreter, and if we say Python 2, let me try this. This could work. And if I open up a new terminal, it'll source that, activate it. So you can see here it's like main 2.7, and now if I do npm install, let's see if this works. This could work. I wonder why GUIP is saying that. If you have any suggestions, hit me up. Let's see what we say over here. Alright, let's have some fun with this. Okay. What? That's the solution? Alright, well. It seems kind of dumb. There's got to be a better solution. I just need to tell Node GUIP where the Xcode tool is. I guess I'm trying to requires Xcode. Interesting. Alright, well in the meantime, let's get Xcode downloading in the background just in case that ends up saving us. And then let's go over here. Yeah, go to download. Come on, give me it. Open App Store. Number 1 in developer tools. Really setting the bar high. Okay, I wonder how big this is. Probably huge. I do have a wired Ethernet, but I'm streaming, so I don't know how long this will take. But it's somewhere over here. 8.1 gigabytes. Yikes. Anyway, Notion and stuff like that. So I'm gonna just also comment that out. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna hit npm install, and let's see if this at least unblocks us so that we can start using look at that. Okay. Okay, so now if I come over here to my package.json, if I call it sometimes, I can even try npm rebuild. Interesting. So I'll just go npm start, see if this works. Let's just honestly, I just want to, oh, failed. Electron failed to install correctly. One of the saving graces can always be npm rebuild when you're working with Electron. It probably won't work, but it's good that it's downloading something right now, although it's bad that it says it's 0. Let me check on the stream. Okay, well, stream's apparently still working, so that's good. Let's check back in over here. Oh, it is downloading. Okay, cool. So maybe this will work. I don't know. Also, -- build from source is a great tool when all things are going wrong. I wonder what version Electron cross-platform build applications. It's going. Okay. It's on 8.2. Holy smokes. And this is on 4.2.8. I may need to update that. Okay, but we'll see what happens. npm start. Okay, so I just want to throw out there real quick that the only reason this worked was because I did an npm rebuild. So if you're running Electron and you run into issues, your saving grace is probably going to be this command, npm rebuild. The reason why that's so helpful is because let's say the last time I was developing this application, I was using Node version 10. Now my computer's on Node version 13, and the binary executables that were generated for this Electron native application were actually compiled for that Node version 10, and now there's a type mismatch. npm rebuild will say, okay, throw everything you have out there and let's rebuild this, and there's actually a command here for it. You can see here, the right command to rebuild for this right thing. It builds it all correctly, and then we're good to go. So here we have the Electron application running. We're using Node version 10.11, Chromium 4.2.8, and if I look over here, unexpected token. Okay, so this window here, you're like, what is that? This is my index.html page right there. So tells you the Node version, stuff like that, and it also says source renderer. Okay, so it's loading, and I am a not very good JavaScript developer. I'm okay, but I'm not like some other people who are much more proficient, but it's loading in this source./renderer.js, right? That's this file, right? So we should see over here that it's actually being loaded in, and we can see our renderer over here, and I don't know why my creds didn't get installed or didn't get hit. So let's take a peek back over here, comment this out. Let's just see what happens if we rerun that. I think it has hot reloading, but I can't remember. And sometimes you can set a breakpoint and that works really well. I don't think this issue here, unexpected token export. I think I messed something up here. Let me just take a quick peek over here. Return object in JavaScript file. I don't really want to return that. Let me say export object.js. Maybe that it just doesn't want. Okay, so this is what I meant when I said that we have plenty to work on. This file is required by this when we execute the render process. All of the Node.js APIs are available in this process. That's what you would think. Okay. So I want to export these, but it's saying over here, I can just search this. It's saying syntax error, unexpected token export, which makes me think that it's not able to actually export that. Let's just search that. Shot in the dark, but it says we're supposed to do exports dot username using common JS syntax instead. I don't know. I don't buy it. Let's try it though. If I go over to renderer and I do password or username, well, it seems to at least auto find it, which is always a good thing. Why is it not doing run? I may end up just throwing out this whole entire thing. My cred is not defined. Oh, this is gonna work. Dope. Okay, so now I will go over to, I'm just gonna swap my screen real quick over to my face while I copy and paste my credentials in here. So let me switch over to full face. Okay. Now I'm gonna go over to my LastPass and grab my password, localhost, copy password, come over here, paste it in, go over to main.js. Okay, so now I will go back over to OBS and we'll go back to coding. Okay, so now this password is loaded with the correct password. So I'm going to go back over to the Notion docs and I'm going to go docs.neurosity.co, and we'll go over to your first web app. Okay. This is a little bit more code than I want. I'm going to go over to your first Node app, which is the one I wrote. And I will go steal. There's one line of code I want to steal. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Borrow this. Put that in there. And we're also going to take this. Put this over here. Okay, so we're going to say const device ID is equal to, and we come over to the Notion developer console. Oh, look at all that focus data we have. That's cool. So here's like a snapshot of my data for the last 45 minutes or so. You can see like what happens when I go into spouts of programming, stuff like that. Count the number of distractions. I don't know what happened here, but it's at least cool to look at. Yeah, it says I'm at flow stage 2 of 5. Let's see what this says over here. Did I crash it? Sorry, I gotta work on that ADD. Anyway, so I need to get my device ID. And I'm going to come over here and say device ID is equal to this. Okay. And then labels left arm. Remember that username and password are coming from up here, so we don't need that anymore. We're going to get rid of this. Cool. So now new Notion device ID. So one of the options that we're passing into this Notion instance is the device ID, and that's it. And you're like, oh, but I thought you needed to authenticate. Isn't Notion, you know, the only device on the market that uses authentication? Well, yeah, but we do that asynchronously. So in this function called main, I'm going to asynchronously fire this off, and we could do this with a promise. Either works, it doesn't really matter. But let's just see if we can get this working at the very least. We'll go over to our Electron, and I want to see logged in. That's all I want to see, and I know I need to change username to, I guess that's email. So I will quickly unshow my screen real quick, and I will go over to secrets. I'll go email. Cool. Go back. Okay. So email, password are going to be injected into this login function. We'll catch if there's an error. So if my password is incorrect, we'll be able to get that information. So let me make sure I'm coding on my laptop. That's good. Okay. And you can see that. It's great. Okay. Username is not defined. Where do we see username? Where's that? Renderer 11. Ah. Whoops. Really need hot reloading. I'm calling Notion.login is not a function. That's a lie. It's definitely a function. Well, let's console.log Notion to make sure that we're getting this correctly loaded, because Notion.login, last I checked, was definitely a function. Definitely seems like it's working, but there seems to be some other issue stopping it. Go over here. And I can also go over to the reference. Like pretty positive login is yeah, it's right there, log in. But I'm not seeing any of the, yeah, it's right there. Await notion.login. So I'm pretty sure I'm doing that correctly. Let me see here. Notion, use effect, set user, on auth state. Wow, well, that's cool. I wonder where we do the notion.login. Let's see here. I don't think it's because it's in this like await thing, but you know what's weird is that I didn't see. Let's see what happens with this. Weird. It says notion.login. It's really weird. I mean, it's definitely pulling it. Let me make sure npm install now. Latest. Let me go look at what version it is. 2.4.1. Is that really the latest? Point 3.1. So I gotta figure that. The Notion version here was like on it. So okay, boom, 4.3.1. So that makes me feel a little bit better. So, but now that there's like, you know, hardcore security, you can't really get away with that stuff. Aha! So I think we're gonna be logged in. Wrong password. Or the user does not have password. So you can see here, I don't know if you can see this. Let me try and increase the size. So I'm getting an error, which is good. Always great to be kicked out of the server. Means we're getting somewhere closer. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, let me see here. Let me switch back over to my face and look at this. Just checking my email and password. neurosity.co, and password is correct. So I'm just, I have it on my face only because I'm looking at the email and password that I have in here, and they look accurate. Let me just go double check real quick. Try one more time. That's the right password, so I'll come back over here, show my code. I wonder if this is an issue here as well. It's the right device ID. I'm pretty sure it would throw a different error. Let me just type in this email real quick. Make sure that that's correct. Maybe something's getting scrambled. I don't know. That's my email over here in the console. aj2 plus neurosity.co. Everything looks right. How strange. Let's see. If you have any suggestions on how to fix this, happy to hear it in the console or in the chat. Let's see. Email, password. I know those things are right. It's gotta be like a typo or something. Let me just try this real quick. I don't think this would be any issue, but interesting. I'm getting a different error. Let me go check those docs again. I don't think there's any difference there. Huh. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to ask for some support. Let's see. Alright, well this was about an hour of coding, so I'll give it a little bit of break, and I'll come back to this. I'll probably go talk to Alex on the team, see if they have any advice on how to get past this. And then I'll be back probably tomorrow for a part 2 where we get into the device and we hook up that kinesis that we saw earlier that was working really well. So I'm excited with how well kinesis was working, but you know I want to make sure that we're able to log in and everything. So I'll be back tomorrow and we'll take it from there. I hope you all stay healthy and safe out there and have a great night. Talk to you soon.